but somebody will give you that time, somebody will listen. And rather than fighting with yourself, because yourself is the hardest thing to fight with,
you'll never win an argument.
You'll never, no. And that's the thing is like, rather than trying to find something good for you, about you, to pull you up, try and find that person. Just go and sit in Cupcake Coffee Box and stare at somebody till they go, what are you looking at? And then talk to them. You know what I mean? Like, just try and do something like that, rather than always trying to better yourself. For me, I was lucky. I was able to kind of have the foresight to look forward. So I knew I was able to think about what I'd come from. And bear in mind that I was an elite athlete at one point. You know, I'd been paid to play hockey for a year. I was semi-pro. I'd snowboarded. I'd been sponsored. I'd travelled the world. I was lucky in the sense that I was able to go, I remember that, and I could be better. I could remember the good as opposed to remembering the bad, because that's the problem with looking back, is the bad always stands out.
And you can't change the past.
You can only
this moment.
The only thing you take for the past is the experience and learn from it. You can't take anything else. You can't live on it. The past is the past, and that's exactly what it is. So yeah, I mean, obviously I pulled myself out. I went to counselling and spoke to people, spoke to friends. Maybe never spoke to as many friends as I could have or I wanted to, because even now, even this year, there's friends going, oh my God, I didn't realise what you've been through. I didn't realise what you were in and where you were mentally and stuff like that. So, you know, years and on, we're 2019 now, and people are still just kind of getting it. So yeah, it takes a long time, and I think like just that focus, just knowing that it takes time. It's not going to be fixed tomorrow or next week. You know, it's time.
So it's almost like the journey back to yourself.
Yeah.
Or the other self that you're.
Well, yeah, because
you're
you know
creating.
what, I'm not the same person I was. I'm a better version because I've learnt so much about myself.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So, you know, that person I was in 2013 before the op was an amazing guy. He was brilliant. Look what he done with the MV Festival. You know what I mean? He was great. He was awesome. But the person that sits in front of you now is a much wiser, much smarter, much more caring person than that person was. And look what he was able to do. So you imagine what I can do now. You know, that's kind of how I look at it, is that I learnt so much from that. I learnt a lot about relationships. I learnt a lot about communication,
compassion.
Yeah, definitely compassion, like being able to come out the other end and kind of build on that. And then 2016 come all around. Still know myself. Probably still, you know, certainly not feeling like I was as good as I had been. Whereas now I feel like I'm better than I have been. Like, you know, that kind of thing. So I was still fighting. But opportunities came along. I was back working in leisure briefly. Events opportunities come along. Connections who I'd made before come out the woodwork again, and you know, it was great to see that I was kind of this, that, next thing. Got a phone call from Craig saying, "Oh look, me and Frankie's want to do something. Frankie's got new material. Would you be willing to put on a show? Do it for charity?" You know, I'm like, "Any problem?" Spoke to Frankie. He's like, his only condition was no more than 150 people, someplace he hadn't played before, and that was what he said. He says, "Go for it." He was like, "I'll play anywhere you want." So I went around, started looking at it, looked at Methil and Buckhaven and stuff like that, just someplace that he just would never go to normally. People like Dunfermline, I'm like, "Oh, Frankie's played Kirkcaldy." Frankie would, it's a big enough town to, he could play the Adam Smith potentially, you know what I mean? It's not far-fetched.
He could play here.
Yeah,
give him time.
He will play here.
He will play here. Sorry.
So Kelty Club come up in the conversation. Kelty Working's ex-servicemen's club. I went up to see the venue. It's 150 people.
Perfect.
I was like, we'll go with that. And I remember the conversation, and she's like, "What is it?" I was like, "It's a comedy night." "Oh, they did really well in Kelty." I says, "Well, this one will probably be your best." And she laughed. I was like, "Can you keep a secret?" She's like, "What's that?" I was like, "It's Frankie Boyle that's going to be headlining in here." And she went, "Hi, right then." Told the other one. She says, "Are you going to be on stage? Because that's a good joke." I was like, "You're quite funny, eh?" And I says, "I'll put you down as support for Frankie Boyle." And she's taking the details, just laughing it off. And obviously got to the point where we've done all the marketing stuff, got the posters out, and boom, here we go. Frankie Boyle's playing ex-servicemen's club. My phone rings, and it's a guy for the Daily Record. "Hi there, I'm blah blah blah, Daily Record. I understand that you've got Frankie Boyle playing in Kelty, ex-Servicemen's Club, whatever. Yes, I have, aye. Do you want tickets? No. I just want to know, is it a tribute act? And I'm like...
They didn't believe it was the real person.
I was like, it is a tribute act. He's like, aye, I was telling the boys, he said, I was phoning to get a story, but I told the boys it'll probably be a tribute act. And I was like, aye, okay. And he's like, right, okay, we'll see you later on. And away. So he never got it. My next phone call the next day was for the Sun newspaper. And I toyed with saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And he was on it. He was like, aye, so Frankie Boyle, I understand that the Daily Record phoned you yesterday thinking that it's a tribute act. Well, we've been looking into this, and there is no Frankie Boyle tribute act. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, so how did you get Frankie Boyle? And I was like, look, I can't talk to you, to speak to you, I need to get permission, blah blah blah. So he arranged to phone me back a week later, and I spoke to Frankie. Frankie's like, go for it, because it's for charity and that.
Yeah.
So and obviously after that, Daily Record were total scrambling. It's quite funny. So we got loads of national press, and it was great because again it was for Chaz, and I got to talk my back end off about Chaz and then say about the charity. So go on.
So going back to your first event, you're doing your first event in that back garden for Chaz, and TDR.
No, that was for Cancer Research.
Yeah. Next event is for Chaz, and then you're here again helping Chaz and yourself by doing this event.
Getting back, I suppose, in a lot of ways.
So it's almost like the past coming back to help you.
Yeah, I suppose. I never thought about it like that. This is good therapy. So I done it. The tickets went on sale, and that was the other thing. Is it's very, very important to me as well. Is that what we're saying about like young musicians and stuff like that as well. I like young entrepreneurs, and I like different things. And what I'd done is with this event specifically was I'd worked with a gentleman in London today ticketing for smaller events before, and I was his only client at that time in Scotland. So he was dead excited. After I'd done a few, he started to get other little promoters and little people doing stuff with him, and that was great. And what I liked about it was he was almost inventing his own Eventbrite system, and he was kind of ahead of Eventbrite at the time. His ticketing was really simple, the website was really easy to understand, it was user friendly, it was safe, it was secure and all the rest of it. And I got a few people asking, I've never heard of that, what is it? Go on the website and look at it. And he had his stuff in it, and it was really cool. And so a lot of people responded really well, and so I phoned him up and I said that, I was like, look, I'm going to put it on Frankie Boyle, it's only 150 tickets. He's like, oh my god, like to have that name on a small independent ticketing outlet based in London for him was gold dust. And I remember the morning the tickets were going on sale at 9 o'clock, and he phoned me about 8:45, and he's like, oh my god, I'm so excited, this is just amazing, just to let you know my systems are, they'll no crash, and I'm like, that's good then, because like obviously Ticketmaster they crash all the time. Well, I'll take that back, they might, didn't they used to.
Well, I did that
just in case we had to use them. But no, so he was like dead excited, obviously, boom, went on sale 9 o'clock, and literally like 4 minutes past 9, something like that, he phoned me up, he's like, they're gone, that's it, done. And I'm like, oh, I can't even refresh my screen quick enough to see if they've sold it. So he was just absolutely buzzing, and again, that was one of the things that was huge for him. It was such a simple thing for me to do, but it was so huge to him for his business and what he was going on today and all the rest of it, and that felt good,
that goes back to you helping others. It's almost like that's almost like the core of what you're doing.
I mean, I was excited it sold out in 4 minutes, but I knew part of me knew it would. What I mean, Frankie Boyle and Kelty Club. So, but that meant more like in that. And then on the run up to that, I mean, I could have sold that show 10 times over. Like I really could have. Like it was unbelievable. The amount of people that phoned and begged for tickets, and it was just crazy. I remember hearing a rumour that somebody sold 2 tickets for 4 times the price. It wasn't even expensive. It was like
how did you feel when you heard that? For an event you've conceptualised.
Part of me about the ticket touts was angry, and I was raging, and I was like, damn it, like. If I could have sold them for that, for charity, I could have, that's mere for charity and all that rest of it. But on the other hand, like, the wee sneaky part of me was like, it's quite cool that my tickets are getting touted, like that sort of thing, So, but, no, it was pretty annoying. As it turned out, that was a rumour. They never got sold for 4 times the price. the husband had bought the tickets for his wife, and unbeknownst to him, she had booked a holiday for his birthday, and it was right on that weekend, and he sold them to his brother and got an extra tenner out of it. Because I spoke to the guy. So that was
the real story.
That was the real story when it came out, because I actually met the guy on the night, and that was the thing.
But the official story is it sold for four times the price.
Exactly.
4 times the price.
But I think the tickets were so valuable to people that people just didn't want to sell them. Obviously, it wasn't that sort of show. So that went off. I would say it went off without a hitch. But when your night ends with the band that was on after Frankie Boyle getting a chair thrown at him. So that was it. But it was a good night.
It was a good night.
And we even made more headlines by somebody for a newspaper group who would remain nameless, been in there at the time, and I never knew they were there, and reported that Frankie Boyle left the stage after 20 minutes. He left the stage 10 minutes early due to a security breach with a guy at the front who wasn't getting dealt with appropriately, and Frankie being Frankie, and any comedian or anybody performing on stage who requires security, and you know, if their safety is at risk or they feel that it is, quite right, they should go. They should. I totally. But it was literally, you're lucky if it was 10 minutes to the end of his set. You know, he was there to do new material that nobody had heard before. It was testing it for his big tour that was coming up and all the rest of it. But the papers swung that one. Frankie Boyle walks off stage in Kelty after 20 minutes. And all that, But again, what was good about that is, as well as every news, bit of news, you know, there's no such thing as bad news, the way I look at it, because again, in that report, fundraiser for Chaz, you know, and it was, you know, it was all about, there was a big bit about Chaz in there and stuff like that. So, you know, it was mere promotion for the charity in that sense, and they were happy. You know, we made a massive amount of money, like 3 or 4 grand for them in that one night. So, you know, it was brilliant. It was awesome, and that kind of, for me, that was the event that got me back in the game and what I wanted to do. For years previous, I'd worked with an artist, Emily Middlemass, who, again, around about that time, had went on to X Factor. She got through to the judges' houses 1 year, and then the following year, a couple of years ago now, she went back and semi-finalist, right all the way through the lives and right to the semi-finals, and is doing amazing things. We're still in touch, we're still getting friends, and that, we'll probably do shows again in the future. But I managed to do a show with her, stuff like that, after her first time with X Factor, which was great. Again, gave money to charity. And then she rocked on down here to do a thing at the Hub for the Kings. So we got a bit of marketing and promoting out of that and all the rest of it. But before it, we went into the cafe that was up on the high street. I don't know if it's still open. I know it's got new owners, or it had new owners, just along from Print It Stitch It.
Oh, now you're asking, are you thinking about the cake corner?
No, before, like, going back that way. It's only 3 doors away. You've got, like, Print It Stitch It, you've got the...
Oh yeah, I know what you mean, MG Coffee.
Right, but something else, though. What was it before?
Oh, now you're asking.
So anyway, the owners of that, we would go in and out of there a lot of time when we were doing work in the main theatre, and the owners of that had obviously caught wind that Emily was coming to Kirkcaldy, and I was like, oh cool, and they're like, look, we're trying to raise money for a little girl who's going through an illness at the minute and she needs treatment and that. Do you think Emily would come in here to meet the family? I said, I could ask, you know, I knew Emily would, and so we done that as well. So she went in there and she sung a couple of songs for all the kids, because the kids were all there. She met the wee girl who was sick, and she signed posters for them and all the rest of it. So again, it was that part of, like, being able to facilitate that on a really small scale, but really huge to the kids was awesome. And obviously meeting the young girl that was ill at the time and stuff like that was awesome. And then she come down and played this thing there for all the kids. I mean, we could, there's people out on the street, like, couldn't get into the hub and that. So
you're blushing really a little bit.
What's that?
You're blushing a little bit when you're saying that.
It's just like, it's just awesome being able to give back like that. I've actually skipped onto that because I wasn't meaning to go that far ahead, but after the Frankie thing, obviously done the stuff with Emily and a few other bands. I was still managed a great band, Silver Coast for Inverness, and they're doing brilliant as well. So, you know, like, I had the ability to tour with them all of a sudden again. I was like, you know, up and down the country, we're doing radio shows left, right and centre, and again, it was just great. It was absolutely brilliant, and they've opened up into all sorts of markets in Europe and everything as well. I was able to reconnect with a lot of old contacts through doing different things as well. So I mean, I haven't even touched on the fact that I done K sessions on K107 and stuff like that.